I think on the like more easygoing side, the concept of body bag jumpsuit, like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be loose fitting, you know. It could be like something for fucking Star Trek, you know, or like Samus Zero suit from fucking Super Smash Bros, or like you know, a superhero costume, or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like just like a one-piece thing, you know, like not necessarily. Yeah. I legit, like, basically, like, walked through. I've been walking for like 5 minutes with my phone out, and I was like, oh, that'd be really good to say. And then, like, I pulled my phone out, and then literally, I can't think of, like, what it is I wanted to say. Like, just straight up, like, 5 minutes fucking walking. I was like, what is this? There's a frozen can of Guinness, but I was like tempted. Yeah, I don't really want to pick anything up off the ground, because, like, I don't know its history, basically. You know, and kind of like justifies putting things on the ground, you know what I mean? So I don't really want to be like taking things off the ground if basically like it almost like redeems the behavior of just leaving things on the ground, which is like I've had a bunch of my stuff go missing, right? So for example, like when my wallet fell out of my fucking pocket, a couple years ago, just cycling along Lakeshore or whatever, and I immediately knew to go back to pick it up, like within 30 seconds of it falling out of my pocket. Like that was extremely convenient, right? But I've had stuff since go missing that has like probably just fallen out of my fucking pocket. I'm like, I don't actually think it just fell out of my pocket, but like, you know, that's all. I don't have proof otherwise, so I'm like, okay, right? Because like literally, like, if stuff like my fucking wallet falls out of my fucking pocket and I know like 30 seconds after the fact, if my shit goes fucking missing, it's fucking stolen. I'm like really fucking pissed. Like it's like, yeah, like, so basically like, yeah, because I have stuff like that happen with regards to like everything else in my life, you know, like I'm like, okay, like, you know what, I got stuff looking after me, and I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna call it a god, you know, like, or whatever, but like, basically my guardians or whatever got fucking shuffled or something, and they're basically like, I don't know, because basically like, whatever defense mechanisms with regards to like, you know, things like my wallet going missing, like, they literally, I was like, okay, like, those defense mechanisms basically like either got hijacked and were used for like a copy pasted version of me, right? Or like, I don't know, but it's just like that stuff is allowed to exist. I don't know why we can't, like, we can totally talk about it. There's no fucking secret. It's no fucking secret that like things will look after people, you know? And if somebody came up to me and was like, hey Harley, like, you know that like instance where like, you know, you had like basically like, I don't know, like your superpower is basically like not losing your wallet, you know? We'd like to borrow some of those energies. You're not going to lose your wallet, you know, but you're going to lose other things. But it's because we're going to take those energies and dedicate them to something else that's like way more like effective at the moment. Like you're not like, it's a tool that you're not using at the moment, and not to think of it as a tool, but like, you know, whatever. Like, and then I'm like, okay, so like, I'd be like, yeah, sure, like, go ahead, like, because I'm all for sharing, right? But secretive stuff is just like really fucking annoying, you know? Like the whole concept of like secret agent and stuff like that, and like investigations, like they don't fucking work. Like in my opinion, they don't work. They're just stupid, like in every instance. Because basically what ends up happening is like you encourage the energy. Like if you investigate secretly, you encourage the energy of basically like secretive or deceitful behavior. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. Like, it's like you want gun control or whatever. Take the fucking guns away from the cops, right? And then when they show up at a scene, basically like everybody knows they're unarmed and they're not gonna shoot you back, even if you got a fucking gun. And then like, you know, there's probably gonna be a lot of losses with regards to like police lives, but like, grow some fucking balls. You know what I mean? Like, I'll probably be a cop. I would be a cop. You know, I probably am a cop because, like, because because there's some fucking like weird mind control shit going on, and I'm like, okay, you know, and like at this point I'm just like a fucking service dog, you know what I mean? But like, I'm pretty sure like, yeah, like, because if I had a gun and I was a cop, like I wouldn't hesitate to shoot myself, right? The problem is like, you know, I'd probably be investigating basically like shooting myself with like regards to like through the eyeball, like I've discussed earlier, so that like, you know, the round doesn't like get disturbed by my skull, right? And then it would destroy my brain that way, like, you know, and I'd like test the ballistics and stuff like that. I'd get like serious about it. So like realistically, like that's the reason like I'm not a police officer, because I wouldn't hesitate to shoot my fucking head off, like if you put a fucking round on me. So like literally there's basically cops walking around. In my opinion, there's people with the attitude of like cops walking around. Like I've totally got that attitude, you know what I mean? There's like forensics or whatever, like, you know, where they're just like, they investigate crimes after the fact to basically like put together like why something happened, you know what I mean? That's like, that takes a lot of work too, you know what I mean? And then like the first responders or whatever, like I can like, you know, I thought like, I remember in the UK or whatever, they don't have guns, you know? Like apparently like the UK officers or whatever, they don't have guns and they all wear fucking high vis, right? So you see someone like all dressed in high vis, like you're like okay, they're basically like they're city workers, and then depending on the type of high vis or like, you know, I guess the color scheme of fucking high vis, you know whether they're a cop or they're a fucking paramedic or they're like a fire person, you know, like, and then like it goes, they're like easily identified. I'm like, yeah, it's all easy going, and then I'm like, okay, so yeah, it's I can't remember what I was talking about, like the reason I fucking brought everything up. I was like, yeah, there's something. Yeah, so I basically had the privilege of like my stuff not going missing, and I was like, word, I really like that privilege. Like it was pretty cool, right? And then all of a sudden my stuff is going, whoa. Basically, I have a pair of shoes. Those are my shoes. Basically, like when ends up like the amount of times I've had like people go like, oh, you need a new pair of shoes. You want a new pair of shoes, Harley? I'm like, nope, no, thank you. They're like, okay, well, just for your awareness, like if you want a pair of shoes, like I got a pair of shoes. And I'm like, yeah, that's just a spontaneous thing. Like I'm really appreciative that, like, you know what? And in a conventional sense, like I totally understand when someone's like, you want a new pair of shoes? Because my shoes are old, you know? And they definitely are getting worn, right? But I'm pretty sure there's a market for basically like thrifting homeless clothes. My sister Raven was like, you know, Harley, in parts of New York or whatever, they fucking pay people. They pay homeless people to wear their stuff. I don't get fucking paid. Like if I'm wearing something, I'm like, that's it. Like I'd like to wear it for life, thank you very much. Because I got a fucking body that I can't fucking change. And I know people can change their fucking bodies. So what I'm thinking is the people who can change fucking bodies are also interested in getting your fucking clothes. You know what I mean? And then with regards to like shapeshifters, like I'm not basically like demonizing shapeshifters, because I actually had like an interaction that basically like tripped me the fuck over, because I was like my sister turned into my new like fucking girlfriend like years ago, and I was like, hey guys, like I had to take a year to think about it, because I was like, this is fucking, like I was like, that's fucking fucked up. Like I was like, I don't even know how to feel about that, or like even know how to communicate about it, because it was a real experience, right? And I was like, how do I, so I like basically took a year. I was like, you know what, like see ya, like I gotta go like fucking think about this. And like literally like, yeah, I took a break from my girlfriend and my partner, because like not just that, like there was other stuff going on like way crazier than actually shapeshifting. But yeah, I was like, okay, so shapeshifters are a thing, right? And then I began to think about it, and I was like, you know what? The one that shapeshifted from my partner, new girlfriend, to my sister, that was outside. Like it wasn't my partner or my sister. And I was like, that's interesting. And then I was like, well, it was an outside influence. They could flawlessly impersonate both of them, right? And I was like, okay. And their message was basically like, we got you, Harley, like, don't worry, right? So basically, I think it was kind of like, basically like an outreach, like a shapeshifter outreach, basically. So the shapeshifter outreach program was like, hey, I'm gonna let you know that like shapeshifters are totally a thing. We can see that you're like basically struggling to survive with regards to just like your sanity, and we're gonna make it worse for a second, but it's only to just like help you in the future, basically, because like that's the only way I'm coping right now is like I have like embedded experiences that are crazier than fucking shapeshifters, right? Helping me like at the moment. So I'm like, okay, so like why is my stuff going missing periodically? You know, like why did all my possessions like, and I'm just like, I have a backpack and a duffel bag, you know, available to me. And I think it's because basically like there's probably like, you know, good shapeshifters, bad shapeshifters, and then like a bunch in between. And they're probably just trying to like, you know, define the categories a little better, and they're probably using me as a tool, you know? Because like the other thing is fucking, you know, my partner at the time was just like, you're a fucking tool, Harley, like in a kind of joke. Like in my opinion, I interpret it as a joking way. Like she basically like insult me, but it was like an insult that was basically like, you're a tool, like fuck you. She's like, oh my god, like I forgot you're a tool, you know, like. And I had those kind of moments all the time. It's like, you know, I'd be like talking to my fucking tool or whatever, like totally an inanimate object, and I'd be like, I fucking love this tool. You know what I've been through with this fucking tool? And then like, I have to donate all my tools, probably because